Progress. Testimonials.
Hello, my name is Rose. I'm from Eastern New Orleans. Well, at the beginning, Sunday morning, we evacuated. My mother and I and two nieces. We evacuated around 12 o'clock, got in the contraflow to Baton Rouge. We were in that contraflow for hours and hours. My mother's 87 years old, and we continued on into Texas. That's where we were headed. It was quite a ride, 18 hours, quite devastating. Because between that long hour drive, not once did my mother complain. I mean, when you have someone of that age riding for such a long time, all she did was cross her hands and prayed and said everything would be fine. When we arrived in Texas, I had made reservations at a hotel. But when we arrived there, there wasn't any room. So we had to go like 50 miles outside of Houston to a hotel. Stayed there. I got a call from my son telling me what all had happened. You know, I wasn't aware. We kept hearing on the radio that, you know, New Orleans had beat the hurricane. You know, it had passed and all. But I mean, as I kept getting calls over and over again about what had happened. My sister was here in New Orleans with her husband in Jefferson Parish at a hospital with her husband who had had a heart attack. Then I got a call from my niece stating that my sister was rushed to the emergency room. So in between the hurricane and what's going on and trying to find out what's going on with your family members who were still here and trying to find out did everyone make it out. I had one brother who was left at home. Didn't hear from him, and that was quite devastating because even when we left Texas, we went to Baton Rouge to my mother's brother. We still hadn't heard from my brother, and we didn't know what to do. Well, we just kept praying and kept, you know, trying to stay in contact with the Red Cross and everyone else you're supposed to be in contact with to find out what, how did they make it out. Finally got a call when my brother was at the Superdome saying that he was okay. I mean, that was the most relaxing thing. But in between that, I had talked to my sister who was with her autistic grandchild, walked across the bridge, nowhere to go. I got a phone call from her. Good thing Nextel worked the entire time. I don't know, it might have didn't work for some people, but for me it did work. Got that call, come get me. And I'm in Baton Rouge, no way I could get to her. But she decided to leave because she had went by a girlfriend of hers in one of the projects right from the Superdome. Walked over the bridge, I couldn't get to my sister. Could you imagine that? With an autistic kid. I don't know if you're familiar with autism, but it was pretty hard. Because we were being told that the water was rising and they weren't letting anyone across over the bridge, but she did manage to get over the bridge. So we hear a lot of stories about people not being allowed over the bridge, but she walked across the bridge, got to a church, and this pastor let them stay there, fed them and everything. But as time went on, we still couldn't get to her. She then went to Houston. So here we trying to get my family members out of New Orleans, or trying to get to New Orleans, but in the meantime, they're being evacuated to Texas. So I had been to Texas, had to go back to Texas to get my sister from the Astrodome. So I had quite a time. But through it all, we all made it. It's been a great ordeal, but through it all, I think as far as the community and my job and family members helping, it's about as well as could be expected. depending on, you know, politically speaking, and just from my personal experience, it's been a long time, I know, and I feel to believe that more should have been done as far as the road home and as far as getting people stable. But it's coming along. I mean, but through it all, with the students, you know, with everyone pulling together, going to school, going to work, you just have to depend on each other, and everything will work out. But as far as the organizations and the schools and the help is there from every organization. It's just a matter of getting it expedited to the people.
Hi, my name's Darnell, and I'm from New Orleans East. It was, I think, I want to say Saturday evening. No, I'm sorry, it was Sunday morning actually when we left. We would have left Saturday evening, but my mom kept wanting to stay home, and she was like, let's watch the news, because we've been having these false alarms and it'll probably just, you know, pass through like it always does. But then when Sunday morning came, she came running in my room, shook the bed with me and my sister, wake up, hurry up, get up, pack, time to go. I'm like, what? It's time to go. I'm like, I told you we should have left yesterday. So we hurry up and pack. I think we left around between 10 a.m. and 10:30. We left and we was heading towards Texas, like north up towards Texas, like Dallas way. And it was my dad, my mom, my sister, and I, and we were all, well, I had a car, my mom and my dad had a car. My sister had a car also, but I left my car, and I rode in the car with my sister. My mom and dad rode in my mom's car, and my dad left his car as well. So it was like, I want to say we was in the car for continuous hours. I want to say like almost a whole day, really, somewhere in the 20s with the hours. But it was a lot of stop and go. A lot of places were running out of gas, so it's like some people was just like stuck out with the gas. Good thing that we didn't run out of gas. We, you know, was lucky to find different gas stations. A lot of eating places along the way in Louisiana was like shut down. You had to just like eat chips and hope you had some bottled water until you got to like really Texas way. And that wasn't until late in the middle of the night when you really got to Texas. So when we reached Texas Point, my parents actually stopped off in Lafayette because they couldn't go any further. They said that they were kind of tired and they couldn't go any further. So me and my sister continued to head on towards Dallas, and it had to be like 3 a.m. and we like just getting in Houston, and we kind of tired. My sister dozing off. I'm like doing most of the drive. I'm like, I'm tired. So I think we stopped in something called Fairfield, Texas, which is like an hour and a half outside of Dallas. It was like, I want to say 5 a.m. in the morning. I couldn't go anywhere. I was like, I just need to get at least 2 or 3 hours of sleep or something. So we stopped there. It was like any kind of motel. I just need to lay my head down. So we stayed there. Oh, and also I forgot to mention it was my cats with me as well. I have 3 cats. So we stopped there at the motel, got some rest, took my little cats out inside the motel. I wanted to just stay there for like at least 3 hours and just head, because Dallas was only like an hour and a half away from, you know, Fairfield, Texas. Well, come to think about it, we didn't leave till like 12 p.m. the motel because one of my cats got lost. I'm like, everything's going bad. So I'm like looking everywhere for her. I couldn't find her. I even took out her favorite food and had it everywhere. I walked all around the motel, asked everybody, nobody could find her. So I'm like already depressed and down and out. But then we finally found that she was, where was she? I think stuck under the bed in the mattress somewhere. I don't know how she got in the mattress. So we found the checkout time was actually at 12 p.m. But good thing we found about like 11:55. I was kind of mad with her, but I was too tired to be mad and hungry. So we took our little pets with us and left around 12. Got to Dallas around 2:30 because we kind of got lost in Dallas because we knew where we was going. So we got there the next day, like I said, around 2:30 p.m. Stayed by my cousin's house for about a week, and then actually stayed in a hotel out there in Dallas, and that's what basically happened. Things for me now after Katrina, I would say, I think are going well for me. Kind of made me grow up and mature a little bit more because I now actually have my own place. Didn't have it before. I was staying with my parents. So it's like I have my own bills and even have a better job. So it's like responsibility is all on me. Before, you know, I was working, but I kind of still was depending on my parents, but now it just made me grow up a little bit more. But the only thing I do miss is my home. It still isn't fixed yet. It's just gutted out, which is in New Orleans East. My parents are staying in River Ridge. I'm staying on the West Bank, but eventually I'll probably move to Metairie, closer towards my mom, and then eventually she should be moving back in her house. She's getting it fixed. Even though she wants us to come stay back with her, but I think I'm going to stay, you know, on my own and just stay trying to mature and get a little older and handle the bills. But it's, you know, it's coming along. New Orleans East is moving along slowly, but it's moving. It's a slow process. You know, as you can see around that school, you know, things still aren't the same. We're, you know, having school out of trailers and everything, but we're still making it.